Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sulistiawati Nurhelfa from 6C, and in this video I would like to presentation about portfolio assessment. Portfolio assessment is a purposeful, ongoing, dynamic, and collaborative process of gathering multiple indicators of the student's growth and development in a course or program of study. Portfolio assessment can be used for formative and summative purposes. In some countries, portfolios have been used in the world of education at large, both for classroom, regional, and national assessments. Portfolios are not only a repository of student work, but also a source of information for teachers and students. Portfolio serves to determine the development of student competencies. Portfolios provide follow-up material for work that has been done by students, so that the teacher and students have the opportunity to develop their abilities. Portfolio goals are set based on what is to be done and who will use the portfolio type. In classroom assessments, portfolios can be used to achieve several objectives, including first, know the development experienced by students, second, documenting the ongoing learning process, and the third is pay attention to the best student performance. The principles of portfolio assessments are, first, mutual trust between teachers and students. In the portfolio assessment process, teachers and students must have mutual trust. They must feel as parties who need each other and have a passion for helping each other. The second is confidentiality between teachers and students. Confidentiality of the results of the collection of materials and the results of the assessment must be maintained properly, not disclosed to other parties who are not interested. The third is joint ownership between students and teachers. Teachers and students need to feel shared ownership of the portfolio file. Therefore, teachers and students need to agree together where the work that has been produced by students will be stored and new materials will be included. The fourth is satisfaction. The result of the portfolio work should contain information and/or evidence that is satisfactory for teachers and students. The fifth is relevance. The results of the work collected are the results of work related to learning objectives that are in accordance with learning objectives in the curriculum. And the last is assessment of processes and results. Portfolio assessments applies the principles of process and results. The learning process assessed, for example, is obtained from students' daily behavioral records regarding their attitudes in learning, whether they are enthusiastic or not in following lessons, and so on. There are three types of portfolio. The first one is work portfolio. Working portfolio is collection of a student's day-to-day works that reflect his or her learning. In education, a student's work portfolio in writing competence, for example, includes all student writing in the form notes, initial draft, and semi-finished draft, draft before the final, and final writing. The work portfolio has formative and diagnostic function. For students, a portfolio of work as material for student reflection, and for teachers as teacher input to help students identify weaknesses, strengths, and design strategies to help students achieve the expected competencies. The work portfolio may consist of an introduction, a table of contents, the results of a self-assessment or reflection, and student journal or diary or periodical on a topic. Work portfolio assessment barriers are: first, the teacher has a tendency to show only the final attainment. If this is the case, then the process is not getting the attention it deserves. The second is teachers and students are trapped in a top-down relationship, so students' initiative and creativity will be lost. The third is provision of a complete and detailed format used can also be a trap. And the last is time-consuming and requires adequate file storage space if the number of students is large enough. The second type of portfolio is documentary portfolio. Documentary portfolio is combination of a working and a show portfolio. Unlike a work portfolio, which contains all the work, both semi-finished and finished, the documentation portfolio contains only the best selected work submitted for assessment. The documentation portfolio can serve as both a summative and formative assessment, functioning as a summative in the sense of showing the result or achievement of students in particular subject or competency, functioning as formative in the sense that the result of the documentation portfolio assessment that provide information about student achievement are used by teachers to help students achieve the expected competencies. Several things need attention in developing a documentation portfolio, such as relevant portfolio content, diverse sources of evidence, broad scope of work, and student participation in selecting portfolio content. The documentation portfolio contains evidence of student work using various assessment methods. The portfolio may consist of written test results, practical assessment results, and project assignment. To assess the contents of these diverse portfolios, the criteria used may also vary. The last type portfolio is show portfolio. Show portfolio is collection of students' best works. Unlike a documentation portfolio that contains proof of the process in producing a product, a show portfolio only contains products that have been completed. The show portfolio is used for summative purposes such as selection, certification, and class assessment. The show portfolio is designed to assess the best student performance in a particular competency. The usefulness of the show portfolio for the purpose of summative assessment depends on two things. The first is the relevance of the portfolio content to the competencies being measured, and the second is the authenticity of the product or student work. One way to increase the consistency between raters is to formulate specific criteria that will be used in portfolio assessment, such as fair for students from various backgrounds, can be used by anyone and can produce the same understanding for the same work. That's all about my presentation about portfolio assessment. Thank you for watching my video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.